All right, we're here with senior football players Adam Friederichsen and Acquarey Eddington. Guys, thanks for taking the time to join us today. So with the new season about to start, you've been through the off-season and preseason process a lot. How can you help the new guys get acclimated to the program or ready for the new year?
Well, we're lucky to have 19 seniors and a pretty big returning class in this season. So having those guys show the new guys, show the transfers, show the freshmen how hard we work and how we built a culture here at Cal Lu, and just basically finishing everything that we do has been it's been an easy process for those new guys, and they'll continue to learn as the season goes on. But right now, it's those 19 seniors who are like leading things.
So you kind of talked about the practice and the culture, but how have you seen the team come together since returning to campus with the older guys and the newcomers, on and off the field?
Well, one thing that everyone really seems to have in common this year is like we all like to get out there and compete. That's the one thing I've noticed is, we're out there every day working hard. Everyone's putting the maximum effort, and, they're showing the results.
All right, Adam, there have been a lot of familiar faces returning for the offense. What will that do for the offense, and what can we expect this season?
Well, last year we had, besides the offensive line with our skill players, we had a relatively new group. So being able to have all of those guys back and being able to play with those guys for a full year, it's been very I would say advantageous for us to be able to have those guys back and to be able to be acclimated to knowing exactly what we do, and we are going to run things to the best that we can.
Mm-hmm. And Acquarey, what can you tell us about the defense?
Defense is looking really good. Like I said before, we're just competing out there. We're flying around, and that's the best thing. We're showing maximal effort, and that's always going to be good on the defense.
All right, and and as the season's about to open, you start with 2 strong non-conference opponents. How do those games prepare you for SCIAC games?
I think the biggest preparation for that is just being able to run our plays and run our plays well. So offensively, at least, we get a chance to be in different situations and use those situations to our advantage when we get into SCIAC.
Yeah, I believe it's just about not whatever team busts less, whoever team makes the less mistakes is going to win those games. So that's what it's about, those first 2 games, not making mistakes.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, what can we expect from the team this year? What are you guys most looking forward to?
Our main focus is to win, and our main focus is to beat PLU in 10 days.
10 days, take it week by week, not really looking ahead. We got to take what's in front of us, take it as it comes, get a W at a time, and that's all we're going to worry about.
Any type of senior moments you guys are looking forward to, or the last hurrah?
Being Redlands at the end of the week, end of the year, But other than that, that's all I'm looking forward to.
All right, guys, thank you, and good luck this fall.
Thank you.
We are here with head football coach Ben McEnroe, who enters his 11th season at the helm of the Kingsmen in 2017. Coach, you get a lot of key pieces back on offense and defense. With so much talent and upperclassmen coming back, how has preseason training been going so far?
It's been going smooth. It's always nice when you have a lot of returners because they understand the rope. They know the ropes. They understand the expectations. They've set high expectations for themselves, and you really have a group that was invested all off season in the weight room, in the off season conditioning program, in the non-traditional season throughout the summer. And so this group, they know what they want, they know how to get there, and they've done a great job of communicating those expectations for the underclassmen and for the new players that have come into the program. So having that type of experience and leadership makes things easy on us as coaches. So camp has been very productive. We've gotten a lot done, and we'll find out on Saturday night exactly where we're at.
How have the new players been learning the system, and how has the team been working together?
Yeah, I really like the chemistry of this group. There's a toughness there. There's a grit with this group, not just the returning guys, but the new players. And I like the fact that the new guys have come in and really been open to how we do things, the tradition, but they've brought a new spirit, a new energy, and it's meshed really well with the returning group and where they were at coming in from the off season. So really like the chemistry of this group. I would say this is one of our tougher teams that we've had in the last few years, and everybody is just bought in and seems to be getting along pretty well. So I like where we're at with the chemistry.
So now with watching the team during preseason, who are some players to watch out for, either returners or incoming guys?
Yeah, you mentioned that we had a lot of skill players returning, and you look at our offensive statistics from 2016, and just about anybody that touched a ball or scored a touchdown is back for us. So guys that have really jumped off the screen at me, Wendell O'Brien, wide receiver, has made huge strides this offseason. Ran track here at CLU in the offseason, had a great track season, and he comes into training camp and he's faster than I've ever seen him. Very committed to his craft, catching the football. I thought Chris Beeson had a tremendous offseason as well, the tailback. Like where he's at, excited to see him go. Adam Friederichsen has, really we're the only team in the conference, I believe, with a third-year starter coming back at quarterback. So there's an expectation level that Adam has for himself. You see him working on things that he didn't really work on as much as a younger player, and he's more mature. Really embraced the leadership role, so he's had a good training camp. Diego Hernandez, our tight end, has had an outstanding camp. So, most of the guys that are back that that put up numbers for us. Aaron Lacombe is healthy again and has put together a really good week of practice. Richard Caceres, Josh Mooney, those guys. It's been impressive to watch that group.
So, you just mentioned a bunch of offensive guys at key positions. However, the offensive line lost some starters. Which players will step into those spots, and what do you expect from the offense overall?
I think with the offensive line group, we've got 8 guys right now, I think, that will probably all see time Saturday night against PLU until we figure out exactly what the best chemistry is going to be. My experience as an offensive line coach before I was a head coach, there are some years where you got 5 guys and you live and die with those 5 guys. There's other years we may rotate at 1 or 2 spots, and we may rotate at 3 spots and rotate at all 5 spots eventually. I'm not sure, but there's not a lot of experience in that group, but there's great chemistry. There's toughness, and I think it'll be on us as coaches to scheme things to put those guys in a position to be successful. So, you typically you have about as much success as your offensive line allows you to have as an offense, but I think that with the returning skill players, we can really carry an inexperienced offensive line group forward until they see that live action and get a couple of games under their belt. I think it's a very talented young group. It's just you can't do anything about inexperience except play. And I know they'll play hard. I know they'll fight hard. And I think they'll be a big part of our success this year.
Moving to the defense, every year you lose some leadership. Who are some players that you're expecting to step up and assume some leadership roles this season?
From a leadership perspective, last year it was great to see a guy like Dejan Rothschild really blossom as a lead by example guy, but also as a vocal leader on our defense. So he's going to be missed. Anytime you have to replace an all-region player, that's not an easy task. So. With our defensive group right now, it seems like our inside linebackers have sort of stepped into that leadership role. Acquarey Eddington and Nick Gordon have both stepped up in that capacity. You see them constantly working with their teammates and trying to get guys going or get them in the right spot. So I would say those 2 guys in the front 7 have really stepped up. We have a new transfer, Dane Griffin. Defensive end for us, who's sort of the spiritual leader, pretty emotional guy, gets after it. On the back end of it, it's a group that is a talented group. Clayton Wood has played some football for us. Christian Rivers is a new guy that's going to be playing quite a bit. But you have 2 young guys on the corners in Obasi Dees, who was a first-team all-conference player as a freshman last year. And Jerome Hull, who's the other corner, played a lot in the secondary last year, so there's some experience back there. But I think when the game's going, it's going to be Acquarey and Nick that really step into that leadership role for our defense.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, what are your expectations for the team as a whole?
I know this. You get into trying to prognosticate and figure out where you're going to be. I think the the SCIAC is better than it's ever been from a football perspective. I know there were a few years ago when both ourselves and Redlands got into the NCAA playoffs together. I think realistically this year at this point in time, there's 5 teams probably that can legitimately compete for a conference championship, maybe 6. So I think it's going to be wide open. I don't know what's going to happen, but I have no control over anything other than getting my guys ready. So my expectation for this group is just to stay together, to play hard. Like I said earlier, I know this group is tough. They're physically tough. They're mentally tough. They're physically strong. They're in great shape. We will fight, and I think we will be in the picture and have an opportunity to compete for a conference championship. The championship teams typically have a little bit of luck. They stay healthy. They get some breaks here and there. We can't control that. We're just going to go hard, and I know this team will represent CLU very well, and they will compete hard.
Coach, thank you, and good luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.